what's up. Whatever. You can hear me now. Can you hear me now? See, normally Astrobate here to tell me that the audio isn't working, but I was here talking to myself for like 3 minutes. I do that all the time. It's a dementia. Don't worry. Oh, I lost 35 seconds already. It doesn't mean you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything. I was just talking about that stupid endgame position. Anyway, I didn't have any answer. Chess theory. I play like whatever. I was also thinking, why don't I like roll a dice like to determine what my opening is going to be randomly in the tournaments, so that people can't predict when I'm going to play. If you choose your opening at random, no one can predict what you're going to play. That'd be funny. I mean, you know, within a subset of things. Like, it could be the English, it could be D4, it could be E4. I could just randomly choose each game, and then no one can be, you know, sure of what to expect. I'm playing on Sunday. I don't know, against who. Some 21, 2200, I assume. I don't even know what board I am. Tonight we find out. This afternoon, this evening, we're going to find out what board I play on Sunday. Could be anything between like board 2 and board 7. I would think I'm between like board 4 and 6. I would think that the higher rated players on my team, most of them will play, if not all. Probably not all, but most. So the higher ranked players, although I'm like the highest all-time rated player of anyone that will play in the team championship match on Sunday. It's kind of embarrassing. You know, that's embarrassing. I'm trying to get over it, but my team has no respect for me. Of course, my rating sucks, so I don't deserve respect, but I still have like a complex. No one gets any respect with 2287. See, and they put too much value on ratings. There's a grandmaster who I never beat in 10 games, and he's rated 2201 now. Just to show you how little ratings matter. All right. Unleash. Climbing from 750. This is such a general question. I mean, you have to play a lot. I mean, I think playing slow games is the key, but it's a different world now. People can improve more playing online, but I really strongly recommend playing longer games. Thinking is a secret to getting better at chess. Training yourself to think deeply and in the short attention span theater of today's world, it's getting harder and harder to do that. I mean, there are less and less situations where you actually, you know, think. Okay, e5 is possible winning an exchange here for a pawn, but it looks like I would lose the initiative. e5, knight takes, bishop a8. I'm not interested. Maybe I should be interested, though. I mean, e5, knight takes, f4, guarding f3, and I'm up the exchange. I don't think that black has quite enough compensation for this. He was a little sloppy allowing that tactic there. Very common, like, closed English, closed Sicilian tactic. He has a pawn for the exchange, though. It's not to be trifled with. Black almost has enough compensation for this exchange, I would say. You know, maybe he does have enough. I mean, it's really close. But if anybody's better, it's me. I mean, a knight and a pawn is not equal to a rook, but it is a central pawn. So advice about getting better from 750, that's so general. I mean, what am I supposed to say? It's very hard to say it depends on you, what you already know, how much you play, if you play organized chess over the board regularly. You know, I think you need to understand yourself, um, mostly, because everyone's different. Everybody's different stylistically. Maybe you're good at tactics, but not so good at strategic play. Maybe you're the opposite. You know, it depends. You know, you can't answer this question without knowing the individual player. I think. But my general recommendation would be to play as much long games as you can. The long games are very valuable. Blitz and bullet is valuable to some extent, but you know, it's like anything else. If you put in the time, but it's important to study and play. It's not enough to do one or the other. Study and practice. All I can really do is give you generalistic sort of answers. So it's basically a Dutch, but of course the closed Sicilian is bird, whatever, Dutch bird. The closed Sicilian is closely related. So I don't remember playing this player. Oh yeah, that was a that was like a bird too. That's weird. Every time I play them, it becomes a bird. So you had Queen A4 there, probably winning a pawn. Position's a little too close to the other one we played. The heck. Every time I play this guy, it's a bird. It was a closed Sicilian though. Well, it was a regular Sicilian. Then I kept it closed with G3. I don't know. I don't normally play this type of stuff, but I'm experimenting a lot with E4 when I play E4. I don't know if I'm even going to play E4 in serious games or not. Yes, in certain circumstances. I'm much more comfortable playing D4, C4, Knight f3, G3 than I am playing E4 because E4 requires the most theoretical knowledge, along with D4, but still. Yeah, I mean, I can't give more specific advice to people without knowing more about them because a lot of people are completely different animals. Now I have G5, F6, sealing in the bishop, which is like strategically winning for white. Should never allow this. It's not so bad if your bishop can go back to F8, but if you go back to H8, you're effectively down a piece for the rest of the game. So it's strategically over. Strategically over. Yeah, that's not good. Not the good. Mm-hmm. Nice try. That's not happening. You're not getting out. Okay, not the most exciting first game, but I don't like to play open games when I just started and just got. I need to get warmed up, basically. With tactics, I'm sleepy. I can be very strong tactically, but I have to be awake. I don't like to lose, so I don't like to play too crazy in the first games. Closed Sicilian is a very safe bet. I used to play a lot more closed games than I do today. Now, first off, we're going to make a move to the H file. We're going to give him the A2 pawn, defend that, and then swing to the H file. Wow, that I did not expect. BFD. Does that bust your rook into the game? It allows his rook to get into the game. Maybe I should have taken. Doesn't really matter too much, but it might. Come to think of it. Because he gets here and here. Although that's probably too slow. It's too slow. Maybe it's not, though. I have a nasty threat, though. Knight h6 check. I just realized this is stronger than it looks because I have rook takes h5 either way. I was planning rook takes h5, but I forgot how strong it is. Even against king f8, it's very strong because he can't defend f7. So he can't even like take. He can't even take the rook because of queen takes h5, and he loses everything. Okay, you should try. I guess takes, queen takes, king e8. Knight takes f7. That's brutal. I don't think this is going to make too much of a difference. Just another piece for me. Check, 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 check. Okay, yeah, it's over. I played one blunder. What was my blunder? Wow, toward the end? CD3 was a blunder. Weird. I must have had a mating attack or something. Okay, Redusa, Mango Man. Mongo Man. 3 plus 2, wrong time control. It has to be 5 plus something. 5 plus 1, 5 plus 2, 5 plus 5. Between 1 and 5, not 3 plus something. 5 plus something. Because I don't mind playing 3 plus 2, but not while I'm streaming. Because I have to use time to talk about the game, and streaming is taking some time. So talking is taking some time. That's why I don't play 3-minute blitz when I'm streaming. If it's off stream, it's fine, you know, but we need a little extra time here for talking about the game so that it can be instructive. Therefore, I do not accept the 3 plus 2. Therefore, all right, so let's play in English. English is the Sicilian in reverse, right? Right. This, I don't know what you would even call this, actually. We can transpose to a Panov or play e5 right away. I don't want to just transpose to the Panov. I mean, that would be selling out. You know, I mean, my position is better than that. I don't know what this is. This isn't like a normal variation. That's weird. Well, it's like a Florimikinus where black has played c6. I guess you could look at it as an EF Caro-Kann. Or GF Caro-Kann, if you like. Never had this happen in a game, really. Oddly enough. I don't know where this comes from. I mean, EF is way, way more stable for black here. His king has a safe haven on the king's side. I wouldn't recommend G takes, but it's playable. And that's not really a good move. I mean, I don't think you want to block that bishop in. I'm like Mr. Critical, right? Now you've got a bad GF Caro-Kann. Or you might call it a bad Florimikinus. I was going to fianchetto and then I changed my mind. If I fianchetto, then my c4 pawn is weak. It would be a weird structure to fianchetto. I'm gonna say. Now he has pressure on the d4 pawn. What are my options here? Bishop c2. So again, the pawn is weak. Bishop e3. Bishop e3 actually looks fine. White's so much stronger in the center, and I can't emphasize the center enough. The first most important principle of chess is king safety. The second most important is control of the center. Development of the pieces is somewhere in there. Etiquette. Etiquette. The etiquette I knew was a pug. F5. Coming with the random moves. All right. He's playing a little bit of everything here. This is a This is a lot of things you're doing. You are doing a lot of things. At this point, we are thinking about rook e1. Unbelievable. We could sacrifice stuff. Bishop c2. I guess. I sort of hate retreating, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You could also play bishop e2, and maybe bishop e2 is actually logical there. Reduce's really making stuff up this game. This is not like him. I've never had anything approaching this game before in the opening. f4. It's just kind of random move, one after another. So white has to be much better, but he's going to trade for my central pawn. I would say, you know, number one rule at this point would be not to trade queens for white. So we have check. Always check. That was why I went to c2. He's ahead of me on the clock. That's why I won 5-0. People play for time. Where is everybody? Come on, it's afternoon. It's afternoon. It's 1:30, and there's no one here. Like, everybody sleeps in. Okay, people are working. Oh my God, working. Europeans, Americans forget it. Europeans are working, so the only people that can watch are Asians. It's like early evening in Asia. Yeah, I don't mind giving you my rook, but I don't want to trade queens. Now, having said that, I could trade queens because your king is actually in quite a bit of danger here. But I would prefer to not trade queens. I prefer to not trade queens. How about that? And you don't want my rook? Are you sure? Bishop h6. Get it. Oh, we are attacking my rook now, for reals. Alright, that has to be moved. It's just one tactical move after another. Everything based on tactics. It's weird that black is a d4 player again. I don't know who this player is. King Kong? The player formerly known as King Kong? Can't figure them out stylistically. I just can't. He likes playing d4, though he seems like he should be an e4 player. Black, it's not really clear what his repertoire is, though he was playing the Sveshnikov a lot. And now it gets very herky-jerky, sort of. Seems like everything is based on tactics. That move is hard to understand. What is he doing? Yeah, I mean, that's not good. Rook b5. Okay, rook b5. It's just a move. We have a huge space advantage. Black couldn't get his pieces out. See? The box of pieces. Back in the box. Wow, okay. Another tactical solution. Damn. Yeah, that fits his profile. Bishop e5. Knight e5. Shit, b6 was underestimated by me. I have c6. It's a scary pawn, no? It looks a little extended, but it's also got a bishop on a4. So I'm thinking this pawn is pretty good. You can be excused for thinking this pawn is pretty good. But it's so time-based. 5 plus 5. Damn, bro. Yeah, he's got the hardcore time addiction. Can't get away from it. It's like a drug. It's like a drug problem. It's 6:30, exactly. So Asian viewers are in after work time. Usually, I tend to get people on Fridays coming by the stream around 3, but I have to leave before then. So this isn't really a great time slot for my streaming. Oops. How long has that move been there? He's always ahead on the clock. But it's not that important when there's an increment to be ahead on the clock. I talk about this a lot, but it's like there's a different kind of player who tries to win on time as opposed to the player who's like afraid to get into time pressure. And sometimes it's hard to tell like which is which. There's like a defensive sort of playing fast. So rook e1, bishop f3, rook f4. Well, I could just take back. I mean, maybe I'm better off just taking back. My king is pretty safe, and honestly, I'm probably just like winning material. You have a crushing pass pawn on the 7th. I'm threatening bishop d7. F3 pawn isn't really that important. My king is actually safe. I have bishop g3, rook guarding the 4th rank. Nothing can really get around my king. g4 is guarded. It looks good. You know, like rook g4, rook queen g6, rook g4, game over. I mean, what's black gonna do? The knight on a5 is a bad move. Everything can be traced back to fundamentals. Yesterday we went over a game I was analyzing in our stream for analysis of games, and Mule Skinner had a game with Black, one of our regulars who, long-time regular of viewing my stream. He played what I felt was very herky-jerky, awkward, non-principled moves, kind of playing for cheapos a little bit, you know, and you could see how the game kind of went south because he violated fundamental principles. Bro, this is ugly. There is a trick, though. Queen h6 doesn't work. Not today. Yeah, that's really bad. Okay, bishop e5. You have f6. Queen h6, queen g4. Yeah. So it's a nice move. It's a nice move. Now I have more time. So I do. What do I do? What do you say? We take the exchange? Greedy? Greedy style? Greedy style. I guess I'm threatening rook d1. He avoided that too. He sees everything. Still gonna play it. I mean, it doesn't check on d8. It doesn't check on d8. Everything is under control. b7, of course. I blundered? No. I think my king is safe. Yeah, pretty good game. I mean, I think we had it under control all the way, but he creates like chaos with these sort of unexpected moves all over the place. There's a lot of principles involved in this game, you know. We always were playing according to fundamental principles. He got as close as minus 0.8 there. So the thing is, when you play like that, you're just trying to disrupt the opponent. Like, he disrupted my thinking enough with the fast play that he got me to make a mistake down to 0.8. I mean, he's lucky a little bit, but I don't like this playing for time business. I don't think it's the proper way to play chess. And you could say, well, he used his time. He used his time after he had a lost position. You know, that's the thing. He was playing fast the whole game and then used his time after he had a lost position. And that's not the way to approach chess, you know. Just don't get a lost position. And if you happen to get a lost position, then okay, you can try to play for time or whatever to confuse the opponent. Don't start playing. Don't base your game on putting pressure on the opponent on the clock. There's some strong grandmasters who seem to do that. But the bottom line is that they're fucking good even when they play fast. Kovalenko comes to mind. I don't know what's up with him. He's in Ukraine. But he was brutal fast. And still he played like extremely strong. Muksudlu seems to play extremely fast. But remember, these guys are playing super strong chess even when they're playing super fast. If you're super good, then you can try to play fast. So Unleashed plays the Najdorf. The best Sicilian. Probably. You know, I used to think of it as, well, yeah, how can a6 be the best move? But it, you know, actually I never really put the engine on it, but I think maybe I'm lying. Maybe I did. Maybe the engine agrees that a6 is the best Sicilian. Yeah, I think, come to think of it, it is probably number one. I mean, the classical Sicilian is like 0.3 better for white, and I think Najdorf is 0.2. Something like very close. F4. This is 5 plus 2. So we're getting closer to no increment, but still, you cannot absolutely play for time when there's an increment. 2 seconds is an eternity. You know, slow players like me, you can flag us. You can flag us with the with the 1 second increment, but you know, 2 seconds is a lot. That's the thing. A4. $14,000 gives 18,000 games. Let's see. You have 18,000 games. 4,000 bullet. All right, 12,000 blitz games. That's good. Actually, you have 12,000 blitz games, but more rapid and more classical. It's hard to play classical and it's painful because occasionally people are gonna cheat. But we just have to suck it up. Yeah, I don't know what's up with this position. It's similar to ones we've looked at, but a little different. Looks like proper play by both sides. I don't want to trade queens like queen d3. That's lame. I don't really know the theory. We've gone over some recent games by Geller on my stream on Thursdays, thanks to Mr. Slowhand. And I've played bishop e2 here and there, but I haven't properly studied this opening that I really, really know it. You know, I just kind of play it on general principles. Bishop e3. We have a5. Sparking controversy. Bishop d8 maneuver. Well, Unleashed seems to really know the black side of the line. The Najdorf, anyway. Playing what looks like completely correct setup for black. But I mean, you know, you need to be energetic. We've seen a number of examples where black just sort of drifts. You see, this is the kind of move that I don't like. We saw a game by Najdorf, I think, himself, where he drifted against Geller and started playing like rook d8. And I mean, that move is bad because you got no mobility for the rook. It blocks bishop d8. I don't think that's a great idea. Rook d8 looks like the wrong place for the rook. With rook e8, you can sometimes support sacrifices with d5 and e4. I mean, okay, if your idea is to play for d5, that's possible, but the knight's on d7 anyway, so this looks very promising for white. I vote for rook c6 personally. Please play rook c6. I mean, I think that black has to be able to sack a pawn with d5. Maybe last move. There were examples of that in the Najdorf game, like not rook d8, but d5. And if he takes d5, you have this move bishop b4. I'm not sure if it works there now because of a5, and I have the move rook a4. Just imagine if black can play d5 and then play bishop b4 to follow it up. Oh no. His queen's almost trapped. Oh no, it is trapped. Oh no. I was talking about rook a4. Something about the white squares, right? The magic of the white squares. Queen trap. Trappaged. Trappages. I think you have to get in d5. The question is where? Let's take a look. Game is already analyzed. Wow. So you were fine. You were fine. Of course you're fine. But let's see. So king h1, my move king h1 is considered slightly inaccurate. Actually, no, that has the best score for wins for white, but I don't know. Okay. Knight on bd7. Castle's dubious. Wow. Castle's is dubious. Knight on bd7 first. So wow, it's that bad to castle right away. Surprising. But I don't think I took advantage of it. I'm supposed to play f5. And when you play, you can play back, by the way. But if you go here, then I just go off with g4. Wow. Short Gelfand 1996. Okay, we need to have a look at that game. We probably need to have a look at this game. Excuse me for a second here. While I put it in the Gelfand Sicilian study. Alright, but I just want to see what happened. Okay, so f5 is important. Here, 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 here. So bishop takes e4 is a mistake by me. I should just play a5 right away. It's equal. Queen f3 is a novelty. Yeah, so you could have gotten b5 or d5, either way. But you can't screw around. You must act now. But the idea with d5, like I was saying, it's very interesting. It's oftentimes this. So if ed, bishop e4 is a resource. But apparently you can just directly play e4. It takes experience, but it's important to play actively and not drift into a passive position. You're fine. You were fine if you stay active here. d5 again. d5. You have to get active, even if it requires temporarily sacrificing a pawn. I wasn't sure about this. Anyway, alright, next game. Zen Chess is here. Zen Chess, nice to see you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, Zen Chess. Zen Chess, are you a subscriber? What happened? We got a follow from Vash Perdron. Guys, subscribe. We're starving here. You're not a subscriber, but I didn't mean to guilt you into subscribing. I just mean in general. You don't have to be a subscriber. I'll just cut you out of my will. That's all there is to it. You and Jimmy Kimmel. No, I'm just kidding. Jimmy's still in the will. Alright. Zen Chess. We're white again. Zen Chess plays the Najdorf too. Subscribe at the end of the month. End of the month club. It's his time of the month. Ooh, bouquet. I don't feel like playing Rubinstein variation. I hate that, you know, honestly. Now, you play the Catalan a lot against me. We get a lot of Catalans, and I haven't used this move order that much. Um, but even if Zen doesn't subscribe, someone can subscribe. Shame we don't have Astrobate out there. Okay, D4 transposes to Catalanville. Welcome to Catalanville. Now you have E5. It's a Marazzi in reverse. Okay, Queen A4, Bishop D7. Queen A4, Bishop D7 takes. Knight D4, Queen D1. I mean, we could try something fun, you know, for something different. I'm just making this up. Maybe with an extra tempo, this somehow matters. I don't know. But another interesting idea is Queen B3. These sort of lines exist in reverse. Unleash subscribe. Yes. All right, we got a subscriber. Nice. Nice. Hey, everybody. Oh, no, you just took back. So I have the Korchnoi trick, right? Oh, no. Oh, no, I have this? Does that work? Oh, no. Unfortunately, I like to play like Queen E4, Queen A4, Queen E4. Here we can do this. The Queen's centralized. Underrated stream, thank you. I am underrated. my elo is like horrible and embarrassing, and rapid not so much, but the classical one is very low. And it's embarrassing because I'm going to Hungarian Team Championship on Sunday. I'm on a new team, they don't respect me, and I'm on some low board. And it's very depressing because, don't say the word underrated, it just triggers me. I'm like thinking about the fact that there's like 24 players in that room, and I'm probably the one who had the highest all-time rating. Although the other team is Board 1 Karoly Tibor, who's a prolific author. Although I consider myself a stronger player for a long time. I've been much more active, and I'm younger. I think he probably did. He and I were probably around the same max rating. Probably around 2470 or high 2460s. So Tibor is legit, but you know, his rating peak was even way before mine. But it's embarrassing to play like board 6 in a room full of people who you probably were way higher rated than anybody. But anyway, I'm still hurt. Team meeting tonight, Arsenal fan. We find out what color I'll be on Sunday. Hopefully. Well, I mean, my play hasn't been great the last year or so, last 2 years. I also took a year off from the Hungarian Team Championship because I got basically cheated by my former team. They treated me badly, but that was my fault. I should have left a long time ago. I should have quit like 10 years ago. You know, it's like staying with an abusive partner. At some point, you know, you're not like you deserve it, but I mean, you become like an enabler. I can complain that my team didn't pay me, but they treated me badly for like 15 years, so I could have left at any time. I wasn't like having a gun held to my head. They never really treated me well. So anyway, a lot of venting here on the stream. But anyway, whatever. It's not a big deal. I just play. I'll just play and win my games, and that's it, man. I don't care. Anyway, it's hard to invest, though. You know, I can't invest emotionally for a team where they put me on a low board. I just feel like, whatever. Okay, fine. I'm just like a contractor doing my job. If you're like board one on the team, which I've been, you know, board one, board two, you kind of feel like a leader, and you know, you feel more invested. But I don't feel invested in a team where I'm like board seven or something, and I know that I'm better than all the other players on the team. It's kind of angering, you know. And they don't organize a team in rating order either. I mean, they put some people who are lower rated than me above me, which is legal, but it's also kind of insulting. You know, so whatever. At least I get paid something. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. I agree, Arsenal fan. I haven't played enough players in that rating range in recent years. I was always playing people around 2350, 2400. And to have a steady diet of players you should beat, always for me was it was a good thing. You know, I told you, like, when I was used to doing that in the club in Boston, you know, where a lot of players would protect their ratings and not play in club tournaments, I never did that. I simply just played. But it was for money. I mean, it's, you know, it's more motivating. You play in a tournament. I was playing in club tournaments where first prize was like $100 or whatever. So every week I would play some tournament for like $100. It's motivating. You know, I can make $100, and I would win like 4-0 against a bunch of 2100s or 2200s, whatever. You know, you got to have them. But I need a motivation. And usually in the case of like club tournaments, there was prize money involved. Here I have it's not the same because you're just getting a set amount of money. There is still some financial incentive. But if there's no financial incentive, then yeah. Anyway, World Senior in a month. Speaking of financial incentive, it'll be a good World Senior in Italy in October 21st. I think we start. 100. It's, you know what's weird? Okay, maybe it's not weird, but the most prevalent section is the 65 plus. There's a massive amount of players in the senior. That's the original like World Senior Championship. Originally, it was for people who were like 65 and above, and then like 10 years ago, they created a second section for players who are 50. And it kind of makes sense because, you know, 50 is the new 65. Because chess players get better, younger and younger and younger. Alright, Zen Chess. 12 is the new 15. 8 is the new 10, and 4 is the new 8. Can I just take his pawn away? He's going to need his knight to d4. He was dreaming about that his whole life, basically. That's fine. You gotta be careful of the cheapos lurking. So I've got, thanks for subscribing. I've got 2 weeks in the States coming up next week. Then I'm coming back to Urbanistan for like a week and a half, and then I go to Italy for the World Senior Championship. The game tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Sunday, my Teen Championship game, it's also a good chance for me to get at least a game in. Because I haven't played a tournament game since February. That's a very long layoff. Like, seriously. That is a serious freaking layoff. A4, knight takes b3, rook b1. Because we want to put our pawns on the right color. And I want to, he gets counterplay with a4. If you can do the impossible, do it. This is the second time I said that this week. Go through your old games. It seems like all of your notable wins you play creative chess. Thank you. I like to think that. I'll keep that in mind, Arsenal fan. Routine isn't going to cut it. Zen Chess has lost contact with his pawns. All communication with the h4 pawn has been cut off. What's he doing there with bishop d6? What's that about? There's some e3 business? It doesn't seem like there's anything concrete. It's kind of a... There might be a trap, actually. Maybe I should just think about this a little. He has knight c2. If I go to g5, what's the problem? Problem is, there is no problem. Well, you can sack a whole rook, right? Rook takes h3. There's always that. Now that's not going to work. Rook h7. Rook in the box. Jack in the box. I've never been to a jack in the box. That's must be a West Coast thing. Alright, we have to defend our pawn now. Now we really have to defend the pawn. The first pawn was easy, but the second one was hard. And we kick him out. Get out. Uh-oh. Wow, you didn't go to e6. You could have hit my bishop on g5. That seemed better. Oh, no. Yeah, he's aiming at e5. No, this is serious. He's aiming at e5. It's going to be awkward to defend that. Very awkward to defend my g4 pawn. Though there is one way to defend it. King h3, if nothing else. Well, I think now we can change plan. Plans change. So 2 pawns up, but he's defending. I'm just playing my natural pace here. Not trying to flag him, just keep the pressure on. I'm not expecting to win on time. If I need time, I'm going to use it. And I'm not getting nervous because he's low on time or trying to like spastically make moves. I'm not trying to flag him. You know, I want to pressure him to make mistakes, that's all. It's over. So this is a pretty good game, it feels like. 18 CPL, 1 mistake, 1 inaccuracy. So I played a little too fast there. So my a4, the computer didn't like it. Wow. Speaking of creative moves. Alright, I don't feel bad about this. This a4 was a creative idea. I wanted to stop his counterplay with a4. Apparently it was a major mistake. I think I missed that that I had e3. I just missed the move, so I should have taken more time there. I didn't see e3 till later. What happened in the opening, though? So, no, but I mean, after bishop d7, I have to be honest with you. I thought you have knight d4 here, but you don't. Wow. So this is pretty funny. That's crazy. So check out this position. Queen d4 is white's best move. You know, I used a similar idea with black, and that's where I borrowed it from. I never played this move in my life, ironically, but I rarely get this move order. But I did use the same idea as black in the Marazzi with the tempo down. So queen a4 is the best move. Kramnik, bishop d6. Okay. Well, that's a good move anyway. All right, it's only 2:15. We've got lots of time. Well, actually, we don't. I could say for another couple games. Yeah, well, normally the position is played with reverse colors, arse, and it's like fine for white. You know, they just do knight d5. If he has an extra tempo there, it's absolutely fine. I thought it would be fine anyway, but he's like not getting the pawn back, apparently, if he does it that way. Yeah. So, birds opening? No, you terrified me. We're not playing the birds opening. We're not playing the Caro-Kann. Things we're not doing, right? The birds opening, the Caro-Kann. Those are totally out. Things we are doing: e4, c4, d4, knight f3, g3, the Sicilian defense, the Kraken, the Nimzo, the hyper or the accelerated Queen's Indian, muting A, symmetrical King's Indian. No longer. What did I have here? An idea? No, I don't remember. What was I thinking? Oh. Better to not think. Yeah, I was always annoyed by this position. I don't know, you know. How's a4? Not usually played here. It's played with d4. See, you haven't committed to c5. It's not a real King's Indian necessarily. Do you commit one way or the other? You're not gonna check, are you? Oh no, you did that once against me. Similar position. So he's muting. Okay, he doesn't hear me, but I think he did like d takes c against me, which is playable. Yeah. That sucks. It just hit me, you know. I think I did the exact similar thing against him in a previous game. I wonder about sacking in exchange after something like bishop e6, b3. This seems like a coup to move. Coup. Oh, you're going to play 94? Directamundo. Aha. But that changes the calculus. Calculus change. Now we're changing our calculus. Calculi. Calculani. 94 anyway. Knight f5. e3. Yeah, where are you going to put your bishop? Okay, you blocked your queen. So you don't have any discoveries. Just saying. Look, come on. Oh. Now that's a spicy move. We go to c2. Oh. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's very tempting to play bishop a3. But I think the question arises as to, like, what it actually does. Is queen a5 a problem later on? Am I just forcing him to make a useful move anyway? Okay. So now what? Queen d2, queen a5, rook d1. So yeah, on queen a5 there's a very interesting b4. Changing the game a little bit there. I don't know if I want to do that, but it's an option. He didn't do that. Oh shit, another trade. We have to do the Vikings. The vacuum question again. What's your favorite kind of vacuum? If you could have any vacuum, what kind of vacuum would you get? So he's doing a little bit of vacuuming, but Arsenal fan is not a player who plays for trades. I mean, he'll play for trades when it's appropriate or when he needs to because it's cramped. You know, he's not just trading for a draw, trying to play for a draw. And I think that the opening d takes c4 move, it's not an ambitious move, but it's principled. It sort of sucks the tension out of the position. Thanks, Sladgy. You gave me a new variation to study. Oh, you're welcome. I had never played that move in that position before. I just borrowed it from playing black. So it was kind of funny. I didn't know it was actually the main move. Now black should definitely go for bishop h6 here, activating his bishop on g7. Are you listening, Arsenal fan? You have bishop h6. The English rat. From black side? Or from white side? There's a huge hole on d6. That's, like, devastating. Bishop h6 was a trap. I wanted to play bishop h6 because he loses the exchange after rook d8, bishop e7. Actually, maybe he loses a whole piece. Yeah, these so-called rat setups are actually very, very playable, and I like them too. Mr. Coffee, what's up? All right, guys, I have I got to go in about 20 minutes. I can't cut it any closer than that. But the lichess titled arena. it's just hung a piece. Yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah, so the computer thinks he's fully equal, even after the text move. No. No, okay, so knight d7 was a blunder. He has to find bishop f8. No, bishop f8 is fine. Black's fine. I was hoping you would blunder bishop h6. Yeah, it turns out you played fine. It's just a boring Kramnik sort of George, what's his face? Man, the dementia's really firing up. All right. I need to drink some bleach. Guys, one last game. Anyone? George Michael. I always want to say George Michael. George. What is his name? George. What is George's name? That German grandmaster who moved to Paraguay or whatever. Yeah, but I just realized as soon as I played the opening that I think we had the same line once before. Yeah, George Meyer. Yeah, exactly. He plays this boring style stuff with white, like Kramnik. So c4, if you see, d takes c4 has a good score. Unsurprisingly, it sucks the life out of the game. That's funny. Check this game from 2023. Vilmos Balint, very average Hungarian club player, lost against Kozul. Kozul playing for a win with black with d takes c. So just to show you that this is a valid variation. I don't know if Kozul played queen takes queen or not. He did. He beat this guy in the end game. Even. Queen takes, rook takes. So let's see what the point is. Not to play knight c6. Mikuleski played, that was a very old game. So Kozul just played c6. I mean, he's a big King's Indian expert, you know. And the interesting thing is, like, who would think that a grandmaster who has to win against the 2200 would trade on c4 and trade queens? But the first thing is that Potzers, like club players, like Balint Vilmos, you know, he's a good player for an amateur, but he's not a pro. He loses in an endgame against Kozul. Fast Friday. Sparkle Horse, perfect game. Okay, last game. Arsenal rematch. Close the mic. Last game, gotta go. Last game. This was Fast Friday, and it's fast because it's fast. Like, it's over before you even know. It's literally fast. This is Fast Friday. I have to go to a stupid team meeting in the fucking hour away, like, other side of Budapest at the freaking airport. It's horrible. Fast stream. Exactly. Freaking airport chess. Airport chess meeting. I might as well take the shuttle bus to the airport or something to go to my team meeting. It's just annoying. It takes me an hour to go there. It's an hour. Because the train station's under construction. The normal way to go is like 45 minutes to get there. But now that the main train station is under construction for like 3 months, now it takes an hour to get across to the other side. I'm not even crossing the river. It's ridiculous. It's on this side of the Duna, and it still takes me an hour to get there. It sucks. Queen f3. It's for me. Duck the third. Airport chess. There's more options. Airport chess is a new variant. You shuttle your pieces from one side of the city to the other. So I'm out of book. I don't play the Najdorf. Come on. This isn't fair. If you're out of book, what do you do? B5. It has to be like main line. No, but for a guy who doesn't like to study theory, Arsenal's playing a very main line here. H6, G5. Oh no, there's a lot of variations like that. Of course, that's with the bishop on E7, right? Oh no, the famous, like, yeah, I don't remember Bronstein, or they played a bunch of games in the candidates tournament, all with the same position. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was in the 50s. It was like in the 50s, I think. Yeah. That's a line in this opening, but it's a different variation. I don't remember exactly um, the move order. If I was a real Najdorf player, I would remember. I just pretend to be a Najdorf player on Fox News. All right. But White has sacrificed material already. The players were Soviets. Of course. Back to the USSR. Comrade, report your findings about the neighbors. All right, so it's Friday. I'm out of here after this game. We're gonna be back on Sunday, but just a disclaimer: I have Hungarian Team Championship Sunday. It's very far away. We usually stream at 7:15, and my simul might be a little late because we have to travel very far and come back. And I used to do this all the time to host the simul after playing in the Hungarian Team Championship, but I'm playing for the first time with this team, so I don't know where I'm going to get dropped off, how long it's going to take me to get home. So just be patient if you guys want to play on Sunday on my simul. We might have a late start. And yeah, that's it. Tomorrow, tomorrow's nothing. Tomorrow I'm off. Tonight I find out what board I'm going to play. Not necessarily who I'm going to play. There's no way to know who I'm going to play till they field their team on Sunday. But if I'm where I think I am, I'm going to play a weaker player, which is fine. I don't care. The question is, will I be white or black on Sunday? This is my first tournament game since February, when I had last game was against Turzo, where I beat Turzo. In a very bad tournament. I had a terrible tournament. I lost like tons of points, but at least I beat Turzo, and he wrote a blog about it on cheese.com. He said I played very solid. At least I won one game this year. No matter what happens, even if I lose all of my games for the rest of the year, I can say I won one game in 2025. I haven't beaten a Grandmaster, though, and I have the last 3 years in a row. So we've got to try to take out a Grandmaster at the World Senior. There's plenty of them. We should be able to get one. Maybe I can beat Pia Kramling while the family live streams it or something. That'd be funny. She seems nice. I like beating people that aren't nice, you know. Actually, let's try to find a mean victim. Actually, the last, yeah, all the players. It's interesting. The last three grandmasters, I would say, they're not particularly nice. Although Darcy Lima's kind of okay. He was just kind of pissed that he lost. He seems like a nice guy when he's not like losing. Are women allowed to play the world senior? Well, this isn't like Tunisia or something. Algeria. Yeah, now women are allowed to play. They have their own section, but they're also allowed to play in the open. So it's not men's. It's not like men's and women. It's, you know, open and women's. And so there's always like one or two women that play in the open section. Pia will always play. Well, I mean not always, but she would usually play in the. I think she's playing in the open section. The women's sections are relatively small. So sometimes they have to merge them if there's not enough women players. That happened a few years ago. The women's were not happy about that. Because it was like announced at the last minute. You know, I mean, that's really bad. It's really bad to have a tournament where you change the conditions at the last minute. They're like, oh, by the way, the women's section is going to be merged with the men's. There was this one woman, Elvira. I can't remember her name. I guess Elvira from Luxembourg, Berend. And she had like literally prepared for all of her opponents in advance in the women's section. And they told them like, oh, by the way, we're not going to have... That's how poorly organized it was. You can't do that, man. She was literally preparing for all of her opponents, and they're like, oh, by the way, you're playing in the open section. We're just merging the sections. All right, queen takes e5. Knight check. No. Oh no, Arsenal fan. Oh no. Got me. What a way to go. Oh no. Wow. Just got crushed. I just got crushed. Everything was fine and I fell into some sort of trap. Damn. I just missed him in intermezzo. I thought you had to trade queens. So, you know, interestingly, this position has never been reached. Arsenal went out of book with bishop takes f6. No? I don't think that many people are going to play bishop takes f6 here. This is not a standard move. It's a line, apparently. Now queen h3. This has been played in a couple of games. Yeah, you got me sleeping. So this is actually a new move. And here I almost play knight to e4. It was safer. You're lucky I didn't play knight e4. Hannah? Bro, what are you talking about? Anna, right? Knight d7. Better move. And Arsenal finds the sacrifice. And so I have to find queen b6. Or anything, basically. Just not taking on e5. Yeah. Alright, good game. Nice tactic. There's no problem with queen b8. But it's kind of inactive. It's just less active than other moves. I can play queen a5. I can play, you know, queen c6. I can play queen c5. I can do anything but play queen takes c5 because I forgot you had this. Check wins on the spot. And this is a very nice tactic here. I might have even seen this but then only looked at like queen h4 or something. I might have even, maybe I even saw this and then I was like, oh shit, he has rook takes d7 check. Yeah, nice tactic. 2 blunders. All right, guys, I'm out. I'll see you when I see you. See you when I see you. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.